Did it work?
1 week notice.
Oh, you're just doing the regular.
Yep.
I told my son in Georgia to watch.
The last thing we need, and the thing they would love, is us to do something. Yeah.
So,
That's why
do you want to know how I'm introducing you?
I didn't tell them ever.
Sure.
When are you speaking?
I'm after Isaiah.
After Isaiah, yeah. Okay, our next speaker is a local business owner, mom, and advocate of freedom. She's leading the way in the restoration of normalcy in Maine. She's the founder and president of Beacon for Sovereignty. Let us welcome Karley Estes.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
Yeah?
I like that. Yep.
Anything else?
No, that's good.
Only a few people are getting asked. People I care about. Everybody else, you get
Yep,
what
we're
you
live. You can have it.
Oh, you have to hold this.
Okay, I'm buying a tire. Well, I'm trying to also figure out.
We want to put this somewhere.
I lost them. I sold them on the black market.
1 week notice. What's up, man?
Nothing much. I got no free hand.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good, good. You like the turnout?
Yeah, this is
1 week, dude. 1 week.
How'd you guys just get the word out? Just Facebook groups?
Yeah, yeah.
That's it?
Johanna goes, I'm going to do this. And she goes, I got 1 week. I'm like,
This is
okay, do
incredible. I
it.
haven't seen this turn out at any
Dude,
really
yeah.
other events.
None.
Well, maybe the one that was up there, but this is pretty big.
Yeah, for not being held by like legislators. and
Official,
stuff.
yeah.
It's growing, man.
Yeah. Where are they going to be doing the speeches?
We're going to do
here
it.
at the podium?
Yep, right here.
Awesome. I wrote something. I won't be scatterbrained.
Yeah, dude, awesome speech. Seriously. No, it was off the cuff like that. You killed it. Seriously.
He goes, he's like, you want to say something? I was like, maybe, but we got to get out of here soon. And he goes, oh yeah. And then we got Shane Drake over here. I'm like, no, I don't know.
No, you killed it. You did a really
All
awesome
right.
job.
Hi, how are you, dude? So let me let you know what I'm going to say, and you can tell me if there's anything you want to add,
Yeah,
delete,
sure.
whatever. So before I get to introducing you, I'm just going to say, question! How many of you guys are enjoying the way Janet Mills is governing our fair state?
I like that.
Are you ready for a real change in Maine?
Actually, what we could do.
I mean, we could lean it up against us now, and then once he starts talking,
Set this
there we go.
Do you want to use the stand to put the phone out there?
Yeah, that would be good.
Right in front of the.
For now, we'll leave it here so we can see the crowd and then we'll swap it.
To get all the speakers?
Do we want? I'm curious if we want to start handing out the flowers now for people to lay down when secure the party.
Really starts thinking about all this stuff.
It might be open. That and that.
Okay.
Oh, that's it. Oh, yes. She can park up there. Okay. So yeah, if someone just holds it while he's doing his thing, I think that'd be fun.
Can you get the duct tape, please?
Yep.
And do you think hand out flowers now for people to bring up and lay down?
People might take off of them, or maybe as he's speaking, have somebody go around and kind of like,
Okay.
when he's leading them up to it.
Okay.
I think that would probably be I couldn't find white, so I brought red.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about it yesterday. One of my friends on the phone.
You see Bo at all?
Everything was just kind of, everything was just kind of.
We saw
more time next time. Yeah.
Paul on the way down to the Civic Center.
Yeah.
Bo's truck was still there.
Yes, that's Gerry's husband. They just wanted to do a quick little thing after.
I thought Bruce asked me was going to
We're on live too.
Well, he would have been.
Hey everybody, welcome to Maine. You want to pop over this way? You want to in front of the live?
Oh, I know.
1 week.
Yes.
Johanna.
Maybe if we put, how about if we put this table here and then tape it to that so it doesn't blow over? I think that might work. Or?
Well, we were
Just a table.
They're gonna hold it while you're talking.
Okay.
If that's okay, if that works for you. And then we figured have people hand out the flowers when you start.
Okay.
Does that, and then maybe hold on.
Yeah.
Maybe if I could have two people hold it in front of the podium, does that work?
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah, they could certainly come over here next to you.
when we do that. Yeah. That's right. When we start.
Yep, if you want to eat over here, I will handing out flowers.
I don't need you to
Putting the flowers in front of that.
Trying to talk to them.
What I was thinking was putting the flowers kind of in front of that sort of set,
Yep.
because I don't have enough flowers to go to everybody.
Have a great day. Thank you. Okay, so
Thank you guys.
I already have one.
Great.
So it's coming more out in the open. Putin said if Twitter doesn't take down the suicide messages connected to pornography, that he's going to be really mad. That's why Putin's against Twitter and Facebook, because they're pushing children to watch this video that causes kids to put guns to their heads.
Right.
So I'm a trauma survivor, and she won't let me speak to her, but I'm here to speak.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm kind of shaken because I can't, it's really hard to believe that this is continuing.
Yeah, I
Janet
know.
Mills is probably coerced or blackmailed at this point.
Yeah.
We're realizing that I'm in touch with the DOJ. The DOJ ruled in our favor, and so did a Maine judge, but this
Right.
network's still up in kids' schools.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Thanks.
How are you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Wow, look at all these people. Oh my gosh. Freedom rocks, doesn't it, guys? Woo! Give it up, freedom! We're getting ready to start in about 5 minutes. Just letting you know if you want to start coming in a little more. If you are prepared to speak today and you are on our agenda for speaking, please come to the front. Thank you.
Can you run to the car and grab my folder and my notebook?
Yeah.
This is for, it goes with Isaiah's speech.
Yeah. Well, it matters all the way around.
Yep, absolutely.
If one country
It-
ain't free, no one's free.
Exactly. Justin
Well,
running to
shit.
the car for me, so I'm like, oh, good.
Johanna, look at like when we were in DC, like half of DC was Chinese people.
Right, exactly.
They had their like dragons, they were doing the dragons and
Right.
everything else. And,
It was their New Year.
Okay.
yeah.
Put this here. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. You can put it right there.
Can I move
Yeah,
to
you're
the
welcome.
other side then? So it doesn't block the... Awesome. Thank you. Karley, I'm gonna move your phone. They're blocking your phone. Move it out here. I'll keep an eye. Yes. Hi. Sorry. The bad. It was interrupted. Oh, it's back.
Try to keep it under control.
Matthew Morse, if you are here, would you please come to the podium? Matthew Morse, please come to the podium.
Oh yeah, I'm going to. I was just trying to find out what man.
So I'm trying to get it set up to see the speaker. But I don't know. Yeah, that's Karley's phone there going on. Yep. I don't know if I like move it back or. Oh.
Yes, I can.
It's a little delayed, so. I think this can go down too. Hold on, it's delayed. That looks perfect. Yep.
More. It's probably too much.
No, actually, that looks good.
Yeah, that'll work.
That looks good. Thank you. I think.
I need to Gerry, so I've got our government created the American Disabilities Act. Class of people that were living in the population where our being it was because these people he's here to encourage us to work against the disabled.
Someone put in 10 stasis. Someone put in 2 $5.
Shut up for a minute.
So you want me to go ahead and start?
Wow. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for caring about Maine. Thank you. We value you. And welcome to the Worldwide Rally for Freedom! Woo! Today, the 20th of March, 2021, the entire globe is gathering to protect the human rights. And we stand today in Maine in solidarity for freedom in the world. Before we commence, though, let's not forget to have our pledge. If we'll all take a moment now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Woo! Woo! All lives matter, especially right now today. Mainers' lives matter. Woo! We are ready to celebrate our freedom, and I want to welcome a true navigator of freedom, a commissioner from the 4th District, Androscoggin County, Isaiah Lowry. He will set the tone for the day with a beautiful blessing.
Let's pray. You'd please take your hats off in reverence to the Lord. Lord Heavenly Father, we thank you for the freedom you've given us. We thank you for the men and the women that sacrificed and lost their lives to stand for freedom. We thank you for writing your Bible, which is the basis for the Constitution that gives us the freedoms we have and enjoy. Help us to be faithful to you. Help us to serve you. Help us to seek you and to know your truth and to be born again through Christ. Please lead us and guide us today. Please bless each speaker. Help us to do what's right. Help us to be wise in what we say and to serve those who do not have a voice. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is a local small business owner. She's also a mother and an advocate for freedom. Okay, Okay, now we're going to welcome Isaiah Lowry back to the stage. He has something more important to talk about, and I am apologizing for not knowing. I thought you were done.
Okay, two things. One is my speech, which I'll try to make brief. But we're also commemorating freedom everywhere. That's the whole purpose of this rally. We've distributed some flowers. And one of the things that we as Americans have a duty to do is lift up our voice for those that can't, whether they're unborn, whether they're under communist oppression overseas, or being threatened with communist oppression here in America. And so one of the things we can do that people in China can't, or Myanmar, or North Korea, or other repressive regimes around the world, is we can speak out, and it is powerful. Communism hates having the truth spoken against it, and tyrants hate having people speak out against them. We may not be able to hurt them physically, the tyrants across the world, but we can speak out, and they are terrified of it. So we remember this day, those folks that stood for freedom in Tiananmen Square. We remember the protesters that bravely stood, and while they didn't get to enjoy the freedoms we have here to stand here without being attacked, they stood for their freedoms and were harmed by the Chinese Communist Party. And we lay our flowers here at this sign in memory of those, and we stand with those who have been harmed so horribly by tyrants everywhere. So if you'd please be willing to lay your flowers here, just out to those that have suffered and those that continue to suffer.
Bring it up.
This to commemorate those folks that don't have the right to do this. If they did, they'd be imprisoned or be executed. By standing up for them, we're also standing up for our own freedoms here as well. Tyranny loves darkness, and tyranny wants to hide, but we can stand back.
Start them young.
Gail! Gail, I got a seat over here if you want to sit. Okay.
I'm going to speak on constitutional freedoms and preserving those constitutional freedoms today. How do we protect our constitutional freedoms? The Founding Fathers did a fantastic job putting together our Constitution, and we've seen it torn apart over the years, but it's taken them 245 years, close to that, to do it. We can deal with the corrupt politicians, but the problem lies within all of us. Why did our Founding Fathers put so many checks and balances in our Constitution? Was it because they believed they could trust man with absolute or almost absolute power? No, they knew better. The Bible says, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And it tells us, for the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. Our country was founded on biblical roots. Not all of them were born-again Christians, but they feared God and they knew they could not trust any man or woman with absolute power, including those in the Blaine House including those in the White House, including you, and including me. The French Revolution and the War for Independence were related in time periods and philosophies building into them, yet two very different results. The French Revolution was a bloodbath. Why did that happen? They had some of the same philosophies, they had very smart people, but they rejected the core tenets of the Bible. And as a result, instead of freedom, there was vengeance, even upon the people that had supported that revolution. The War for Independence was far less vengeful, and as a result, we had freedom, and we've enjoyed it for 245 years. We look now today, we have a government and a governor that looks at its people, not as citizens to serve, but as people to mandate, to order, to threaten, and to even jail. How does the Maine...
Louder. How does the Maine how does the governor hear how we are doing this? How does the governor have this authority? Can you hear me better now? Okay. Yell.
I'm trying. How does the governor have this authority? The Maine Emergency Management Act gives her this authority. It's given to her by the legislature. This law gives her massive powers with almost no checks and balances. The Maine Emergency Management Act is unconstitutional because it violates our Maine state constitution and also the federal constitution. Under Article 3, Sections 1 and 2, the Maine non-delegation clause and the separation of powers clause. They are not allowed to give power away to the governor or to another branch without specific protections. That's how the court interprets it. And yet, there are no protections for us under this COVID crisis. If a law violates the Constitution, it's unconstitutional from the moment it's written. Amen. Mandates for masks, they're mandated. Now they're going to be mandating vaccines. No. They tell us that we need to do this in the name of science. Science says that we must do it. Science also tells us that a baby can feel pain before 20 weeks. Science tells us that genetically a baby is distinct from its mother and father at conception.
Don't yell. Yell at him.
Got it. We the people cannot wait for the legislature. All right.
Yell and use the mic.
We the people cannot wait for the legislature to take action. They've had since last year. They should have called it back into session. I credit those brave legislators that have taken a stand, that have done what they could, and I appreciate their efforts. Some of them will speak today. Others have spoken at other open and free Maine rallies. So we credit those, but we are running out of time. We the people need to be pushing ballot initiatives, court cases, and fighting back now before our freedoms are gone in 2 years. When they tell you they don't have the majority, that's not an excuse. The county commission had a commissioner push forth the resolution for freedom. It made those that were unwilling to stand for people and their freedoms go on record. They hate having to go on record for their insanity. So you make them own their insanity. Yeah. The governor does not want the truth to get out that what she is doing is harming the people of the state of Maine. But that all got broken when 37 people came out to speak out against the mask mandates. 24 spoke, 37 showed up, and the commission didn't dare say no in front of them. So they tabled it, and then they voted no after kicking the people out of the meeting. So much for freedom.
Vote them out.
How do we protect our freedoms now? We need to be right with God. We need to understand that if we are sinful ourselves, we will betray the same people that we swear that will represent. How many politicians have we seen go to Washington or go to Augusta here and sell us out?
All of them.
We need, not all of them, there are some brave legislators, some which will speak, and some that have before, and some that frankly have organized the rallies in the past. But most of them have betrayed us time and time again. And we can just look to the gospel. That Christ died for our sins, was buried, and rose again from the dead, and that his shed blood pays for our sins. And if we ask Christ to be our Savior from our sins, he will take care of us, he will save us. And then we can go in God's power, and we can actually stand for freedom. We can stand against the majority, even when they threaten to kill us, even when they threaten to jail us. We have the courage because we've got
the Lord on our side.
Amen.
Support good candidates, ask questions, run for office. I can tell you, most of you can do a far better job than the politicians in Washington and the politicians in your own town. If you can think out a really simple concept, if you spend more than you make, you're going to go bankrupt. If you ignore the people that you swore an oath to the Constitution, not just the laws of the state of Maine, the Constitution, you're not doing your job as a legislator, as a selectman, as a commissioner, or as a governor.
Hear, hear! Hear, hear!
Don't vote for cheap politicians just to have the majority. Which of you, if you were going into a battle, would bring some traitors along just so you had more people than the other guy?
That's a good point.
So we don't bring along the traitors. Look at what Senator Collins, our senator, has done. Voting to impeach a president who is not even sitting at the time. Speak up for those that do not have a voice. Communism hates having the freedom spoken of and having their murderous attitudes and actions and slaughters being spoken out of. We have a lot of authority and a lot of power, and we need to speak for freedom.
Amen. Woo.
What hope do we have here? If we lose freedom here, it's terrifying. It concerns me. I'm sure it concerns you. This is not a cheap excuse, what I tell you next. But I can tell you this. Him that cometh to me, I will in no wise cast out. My county commission, the legislature, and others may cast you out, but Jesus Christ never will. And if the Son, therefore, shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. Let's draw a line in the stand. Let's stand, and let's peacefully and powerfully push back.
Now that is what I call a speech about freedom! Woo! We need more people like Isaiah Larry to stand up. We all live in our own little towns. Do you know there's 470 towns in Maine? If we each one decided to get on those selectmen and councilmen and commissioners, what could we do if we did that?
Yes.
The people.
Yes.
That's who this was written for. The people. Let's get moving. So, back to where I was before. Our next speaker is a local business owner, mother, and advocate of freedom. She is leading the way to restore normalcy in Maine. She's the founder and president of Beacon for Sovereignty. Join me in welcoming Karley Estes. Woo!
Hello everyone, my name is Karley Estes and I am a founder of Beacon for Sovereignty. But today I'm going to talk to you as an individual, a mom who was not involved in politics or groups, really, of any sort, and who, like many of you, entered this fight feeling very alone. After finding out my son was being masked in preschool without my permission, I pulled him from school and I organized my first protest for Labor Day the next week, the day before school started. I was sure there would be other parents ready to stand with me, ready to stand against this awful treatment towards their children. I went that morning terrified, a lot like right now, heart racing, pacing around my house, about to throw up, terrified. I had no idea how many people would show up or the response that I would get. I did know that I was getting a lot of encouragement in the background. People saying that they were so happy to see me taking a stand, standing for what I believed in. At this point, it didn't matter what the response was. My orenda had come out, and perhaps I wouldn't make a change that day, but perhaps I could spark little fires. Orenda is a mystical force within all people that empowers them to affect the world. Orenda comes from your soul, it comes from your spark, your light, and I think you can all feel it, and that is why you are here today.
Orenda!
There were 7 people that showed up to that protest. Not all at once, but 7 people total. Some people made fun of this number. I, however, was not discouraged. I was inspired. I connected directly with 6 others that day, and our sparks grew. There is no way I can ever know of all the little fires that started that day and what they might ignite moving forward. But Orendas were coming out, and it just took a spark. Each of you are so important in this fight. Each of you brings forward your spark, your light. And however you do that, whether it's sharing information, organizing rallies, going into the store without a mask, or putting a sign in your yard, or simply showing up here today or whenever you can, doing whatever you can. It is being seen, and I guarantee you are helping someone else spark their Orenda. If we are all waiting for someone to save us, I'm waiting for someone, he is waiting for someone, and she is waiting for someone, it will never end, and we know this. We need to stop being afraid to use our voice, to ask questions, to question their answers. We need to use our voice now. If your voice had no power, they would not be trying to silence it. I have spoken with many of you, and we all have different beliefs in this fight and different views, of course. But I know many of us are firm believers of love and of light. But that does not mean that we are weak or we would just lay down for the sake of keeping the peace or avoiding confrontation. No, it means that no matter what we are faced with, we will do what is right within our soul. We will fight for the good, and we will move forward with love and stand firm in our light. Our Orenda has been sparked, and there is no backing down. It takes a lot of courage and strength to be in this fight, and I am so proud to be standing here with each of you while you are doing what you can do. I am inspired by your spark and your light, and it keeps me going. So thank you for bringing your light forward. Keep making connections, keep fighting, and always keep shining.
Thank you, Karley. I learned a new word today. Did you learn a new word today? Orenda! Yes, Orenda. I love it. I am really proud, and I feel actually very privileged to introduce this next guest. A lawyer, guys, a lawyer that is spearheading the charge to reclaim our constitutional rights. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ron Jenkins.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here with you today. We love you, Ron! Love you too. I love freedom. We were ordered to stay in our homes and not to leave them, except for certain specially authorized reasons. We were ordered to cover our faces and our children's faces with masks that obstruct our breathing and not to take them off inside or outside. Our children were denied access to the schools and teachers that our tax dollars fund. Our houses of worship were closed. We were divided like cattle, segregated into arbitrary groups of essential and second-class non-essential workers and businesses. Our businesses were shuttered. We were ordered not to go to work. We were stripped of the dignity that comes of working for a living and providing for our families. We were blocked from seeking routine medical care. We were constantly bombarded with fearful messages about cases, deaths, and variants. It's no wonder that we're suffering increases in drug overdoses, unemployment, mental health crises, domestic violence, and abuse. The true extent of the destruction is being masked by massive infusions of federal bailout money. And that's money that ultimately we and our children must repay. They say that COVID has caused all of this, but the overall survival rate for this virus exceeds 99%. We demand intellectual honesty.
Yes.
did not cause this wreckage. COVID did not shut the doors of our schools.
That's right.
COVID did not close our churches, synagogues, and mosques. COVID did not segregate us into groups. What is the legal and factual cause of all this wreckage? The state of emergency, unilaterally declared by the governor, is the cause. The summary edicts issued by the governor and her unelected executive officers are the cause. And they did this while the doors of the legislature were locked shut and our dissenting voices were silenced. I have 5 children at home. We're homeschooling four of them. We're teaching them the poetry of one of the most famous Mainers to walk the face of the earth, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And one day, my children were reciting one of his poems, which they'd memorized. It's called The Psalm of Life. And I heard their sweet voices speaking this stanza. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like dumb-driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Trust no future, however pleasant. Let the dead past bury its dead. Act in the living present. Heart within and God overhead. Those are the words of our very own Longfellow coming to us across time, people, across history. He had vision, and he's speaking to us now. I knew when I heard my children reciting that poem that it was time to act. I had to do something. We are seeking justice in the courts. Yes, the lawsuit is important. We are asking the court to do its duty, to review the science and the medicine and the facts, and to declare that this virus, which has an overall survivability rate exceeding 99%, is not a real emergency. We are asking the court to declare that the Maine Emergency Management Act, which concentrates legislative and executive power in the hands of a single individual, indefinitely violates the separation of powers that our founders saw fit to include in our state's constitution.
Preach it! Preach it!
We're asking the court to declare that emergency orders that stop an 8-year-old boy suffering from cerebral palsy from traveling to Boston, where he can be treated by his specialists, those orders are unconstitutional. We're asking the court to declare that an emergency order that destroys the dreams and life savings of entrepreneurs and throws them onto welfare are unconstitutional.
Unconstitutional!
But this alone is not enough. Every freedom-loving citizen of Maine, all of you listening to this broadcast now who aren't here, must stand up. Republican, Democrat, and Independent.
That is true. Yep.
All of you, all parties, you must announce yourselves. You must be counted. You must let your voice be heard. I have had so many calls of support since filing this lawsuit. And so many people, though they support me and they support the suit and they know that this is wrong, so many people are afraid. Do not be afraid. Do not hide behind your desks. Do not cling to your comfort, to your status, your reputation, your illusion that this is proper constitutional government as our founders envisioned it. It is not. And my friends, do not be mistaken. They won't stop here.
Exactly.
We must all stand up and move forward together to confront this grave challenge to our liberty. Our hearts within and God overhead. Thank you.
Doesn't that get you right to your core? Doesn't that get you? We all need to stand up. This is not going to end. If we roll over now, we'll be rolling over in our graves, and our great-grandchildren won't even know what freedom is. So, it is now with great pleasure that we bring a couple of good old boys to the podium. These men declare loudly and proudly about American freedoms with two different organizations. We have Stand Up Maine and Make America Free Again. Will you please join me in welcoming Ryan Post and Michael Keating?
Okay, thank you everybody for showing up. It's a great population of Maine here. When I look out across here and I see the faces, it reminds me of what Maine is right here. The hardworking people that are willing to come out and stand up and stand up and make sure.
All the way to it's touching your lips. Or
All right, how we doing now? It's loud up here, and I will make sure I'm not too loud. But, okay, so in my wife and I's kitchen, we started meeting with people about a year ago. Couldn't believe the lockdowns were going to go on and on and on. So we were very surprised to find out that all over the place there's these little freedom cells of people meeting. And they all have one thing in common. They all want to stand up and they want their voices heard. And I want to tell you how important it is to continue meeting with your groups, your family group, your neighborhood group, your city group or town, your county, and the state. But we all have to have a unified voice. And one group that's standing out is the MaineStandsUp.org. They're getting the word out, and there's a really nice website to look at, and it gives you some action points, things that you can do and how to get involved. Very important to be involved. So, if we all can, we have to do exactly what Ron said. We can't be afraid of standing up, and we can't be afraid of making our voices heard. If you adhere to the orders and you become fearful of them. Fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. They've done a great job. The media and our politicians have done a great job of making this false evidence appear real. And everybody knows when you have a 99+% rate of survival of a fictitious virus, then how long can they pull this over on us? How long are we going to allow them to play this card? So it's very important to meet with the people in your community, to bond together, and to don't be afraid to have your voice heard and to stand up. So MaineStandsUp.org, and that's what I have to say. So from here, you're going to hear from Ryan Post.
I don't need this thing, I can tell you that.
Yes, you do.
Can you hear me out there? Yeah. First thing I want to know is how many proud deplorables are out there? Maniacs, right? It's nice to be a deplorable, isn't it? It's kind of hip. Adorable. Adorable, deplorable.
Yeah, baby.
You got that, brother. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Old news, here we are, right? So, fake. Say it again? That's right. My name's Ryan. I'm a 4th-generation lobsterman. I have been embedded in all of this for 21 years. I have dedicated my life to truth.
They can't hear you.
Say it again.
They want you to scream into the microphone.
You want me to scream into this?
Yes.
My name's Ryan. I'm a 4th-generation lobsterman. I have dedicated my life to truth and honesty and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and we are not going to be trampled over anymore. It stops right here and right now. And we
are here to represent Maine Stands Up. But understand one thing, folks. This is happening around the world, right? This is happening not just right here, in a lot of states here in the United States, but also around the planet. So understand that this vibe that we are giving off is all around the planet right now, and people are going to feel it, and it's going to crush them. It's going to crush them. This is a grassroots effort. This didn't come from the top down. It came from the bottom up. And this is why we're all here right now. I have to say this, and the biggest issue for me in this it's not a pandemic, I'm calling it the plandemic. I don't care what anybody says.
Go right ahead.
We take these muzzles off our face and take these muzzles off our children. It needs to end. We know the science. The science is there. Take your cognitive dissonance and shove it. Okay? Folks, we cannot have our children in schools behind a plexiglass like this. They can't even see their teacher if they have a face diaper on their face. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I have to say one thing about Maine Stands Up, because I am a fourth-generation lobsterman, and I got to say right now that we are being bombarded with a part of an agenda that we all, I think, here know what is happening. They want to wipe the lobster industry off the face of the planet by accusing us, the Maine lobstermen, of killing right whales. It is on the Endangered Species Act. And there hasn't even been a right whale around here in 20 years. The feed's not here. So we are being blamed for something that is non-existent. And I'm telling you right now, if there's any fishermen out here or anybody who's going to hear this, if we don't stand up now, we're going to lose it all. And if you think you're going to crush the Maine economy, good luck with that. Because we are the hardest-headed individual entrepreneurial people, and we aren't going to be run over. We need to stop living in fear. Fear, take a ride somewhere else. We use our consciousness to take fear and flush it down the toilet. Okay? We cannot move forward in our decisions to put a muzzle. Whatever you do is based on fear. No. Take our consciousness and let that be your decision. Not fear what this mainstream mockingbird slime ball media is telling you, local, and these buildings are irrelevant to what is about ready to happen to us, the American people, and the global communication. These people are about ready to disappear in a way that we are taking back the Constitution and we are bringing back the Republic of the United States. We the people is right. We the people are going to be the grassroots that take back and save not only the state of Maine, not only the United States, but the world. This is a global thing. This is not just right here. And I'm telling you right now, the more they push us apart, the closer we come together. And that's right. So you go and push your propaganda, and you push your lies, but you're pissing off the patriots, and the awakening is happening. The Great Awakening is here. It's right now. And it starts right here. Ladies and gentlemen, freedom comes from God. It's not a privilege. These are our God-given goddamn rights. Not these people. It's not these people. We cannot allow the tyranny that is happening to come from within us. Okay? The social shaming and all that bullshit stops now. If you want to put 5 masks on in a hazmat suit, go for it. That's your right. You're not telling me to do shit. And we are not, we're done. We're done. And I'm telling you right now, folks, and I'm going to end it with this. What a beautiful crowd of patriots. And this is the beginning, and it's going to be the beginning of the end. And I'm telling you right now, if we can bring our consciousness up to a level to where we can see what's going on, and when that happens, over and over, one by one, I guarantee you right now, the best is yet to come. Thank you.
I told you those were a couple of good old boys. This is unity, guys. Do you understand what that word means, unity? We all stand together. We are strong. They can't push us around if we stand together. And Maine is a huge state, so we all need to pull together as often as possible. And this unity that we have, it goes beyond the state of Maine. It goes through our great United States, and now it's extending globally today for our worldwide rally of freedom! And we are sending an amazing, energetic message throughout the universe today. And we are going to expend some of that energy and march around our Capitol building, build up some more energy so we can come back here, and we have about 8 more speakers that have a lot of interesting information for you so that you can get on board and take some action so we can all remain together. Don't let this be the only time you get together. Don't let this be that. Don't leave here without finding out how you can go forward and continue this unity. We are together. Freedom for Maine, freedom for the world. Where's Nick? Nikki, come on up.
How you guys doing? I don't know if you guys see me. I've been walking around passing out cards.
You gotta eat it.
My bad. But my name is Nick, aka Corn Pop. If you see me on Facebook, I used to walk around here with a big hat. That was the first nickname that I had. But I started a group called PWA. It's called Patriots Attitude. If any of you guys are pissed off as I am, come see me, get a business card so you can get the email address. Keep updated. We are going to be planning something really big for the 4th of July weekend up in northern Maine. We're going to plan the biggest camping trip and the biggest party Maine has ever seen. And we're going to tell Joe Biden to kiss our ass. We're not asking for permission for the 4th of July. Alright? So we're going to get ready. We're going to do a march around the block, and then we're going to come back. Like she said, we got a couple other speakers. You guys stay back. Freedom.
Let's go, guys. Here we go. Nick, you're going to lead everybody. You're going to head the charge. Nick is going to lead the charge. Our freedom, energetic march for the world. Freedom! We need some freedom music.
He's gonna come up this way.
Hey!
Freaking time! Hey, it's a pleasure. I know, right?
What's up? You got $12 an hour. Minimum wage, man. Yeah, you get benefits.
Nick.
All right, we'll have Sam take over. We got
Let's see if you want to hold it with me down the road.
Go first. Aiden. Yeah. You want to sit on Daddy's shoulders and hold the sign? Yeah.
Yes, that says everything. Yep.
You want to just sit on my shoulders? All right.
What's that? Here.
You guys leading it? I want to get everyone passing. Are you going this way? Hi.
I wasn't sure. I hope you're honoring your oath today.
Hey. Hi guys. Wow, I can't believe how many people are here. Hi Tina.
Yeah, basically, you know, sharing my posts. How you doing, folks? Good, how are you? Where are you headed? Just so we know for safety.
Just around the block. Yep.
Yeah, I'll let Augusta police know, okay? Just very much. And just try to stay on the sidewalk so nobody gets hit.
Trying to keep
them on the sidewalk, okay? I don't want anyone to get hit, okay?
Yes, sir.
Everybody try to stay on the sidewalk! Come on, let's get some chants going!
So quiet, we need some chants, Gail.
I believe that we will win.
Hello. Hello. Hi, little freedom fighters.
Good afternoon.
Hello, David.
How is pregnant girl doing?
Good, how are you?
Other than you're looking fantastic. The ops have anything to say, or they
Just asked us where we were going and to try to stay on the sidewalk.
It was perfectly within his rights and his duty.
Yeah, it is. Looking out for us.
Oh yeah, I mean, if somebody comes down and creates a major problem, but they'll have police all over them so fast they don't know what hit them. They essentially back us. And they made it pretty clear talking with them. You want to go shooting? I've got a cell phone. It's a good target.
Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah,
Good, how are you? He's so cute.
Yes.
Hi, good. Hello.
I have no idea. I'll find her, but she's going to be through in about an hour or so. We'll have all the information in a couple hours.
Right,
Okay?
from your property, just like.
Just let Misty know. She's already talked to Misty once today. So, see what you can. Yeah, 12:30.
No, they still love it.
I have no idea. Above my pay grade. You'd have to ask your mother. I just don't know, and I'm not sure she even knows.
Freedom worldwide!
I will. Well, you too, Evan. If you take care and go and give up the ship. We had several hundred people right now who are walking around the Capitol. So, take care. That was Leslie's oldest boy.
Oh. Got some stragglers behind us as well. Woo! It's quite the turnout today.
No, it's not a good turnout. It's a great turnout. So, do you know if it's a boy or girl yet?
Lies, not everyone knows.
Okay, well, there's nobody here listening other than this.
You just announced it to the world.
First or second?
It's second. Yes. It is so great.
What was the first?
Nash, my son, he's 5.
Well, he's going to have a wonderful little brother or sister.
Yes, he will be a very good big brother.
Does he know?
He does, yes.
Or is his reaction?
Oh, he's excited.
Good.
Yes, very much so. Excited to be a big brother.
There's some good folks there. Oh, there are. They're pretty liberal states, though. Yeah, absolutely. I feel for him. Yeah, it's just pricing up so much in the last 2 years.
Excitement.
Well, the thing is, it's encouragement. Did we have one of the channels here?
I believe channel 6, yes.
Good.
Freedom matters. Amen and amen. Thank you so much.
We'll see what they say. Did you catch any of the speeches?
Some of it. It's important.
I'm not the kind to do this kind of thing, but now it's the time.
David, I hate to leave you, but where I'm doing the live, I'm supposed to scoot up to the front and catch them.
Go scoot.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about. Be happy about it. You know why I said that?
Check it out.
Right. I know. Get a house. Well, and I thought get a house.
I'm chewing gum. I can't have a mask on. It's hard. It's food. That's right.
I can just, it's science.
Don't make
Did you need anything?
Sell it outright and then go to the dealership.
Hi, how are you? Good.
We gotta actually find the jobs. Okay, so you guys like do like, so you're like. Specialize in a very specific part of it.
Yeah, somewhat. I do robotics.
Yeah, so but I know a lot of them.
Linda, look at you. You're doing great. All right.
Once we fund that, then we go to the next one, you know? I'm just, these are all just off my top of my head, so it's difficult. Unless I have other
Recognition. Come on.
Literally, it does not do anything. It's a bandana.
Is he telling
That
us?
looks hilarious.
I believe he's telling us to die.
You look hilarious wearing your bandana. Hey, I'm gonna try to get a rule, man. Why are you moving back? Why are you moving bandana?
How many people are here? I know. I couldn't even tell until standing and watching everyone walk by.
Isn't that great?
It's crazy.
Good job, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Gina, your phone in your pocket. Your phone is about to fall out of the bottom of your pocket.
I
could just see it go.
Give me a good reason to stop. Thank you, by the way.
Yes. You've got the perfect size hole in the pocket there.
It's actually getting hot.
I know. Hi.
So there's
Hi.
yeah. I haven't watched
Hi, Julie.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Thank you so much for being here today. We know you could have been doing anything. This is a beautiful
chat? You're in the chat we had going a little bit, right? Last minute. Okay. These are like the print your own, but it's good in situations like this. Thank you for reaching out, or we'll connect.
Yeah, okay. Definitely.
Hi. How you doing? Good.
Yeah, she's happy to see you here. Yeah.
You behaving yourself, remember you gotta behave, you're pregnant.
Yeah, I've been trying. I'm trying.
Why? Don't do that, that's no fun. You know it's more fun when you misbehave.
Of course, of course.
In your case, though, when you misbehave, you always gotta misbehave with your husband.
Right.
You can't misbehave with him. Wow, you just misbehave with them.
Oh, I like your side. Can I take a pic? Thank you.
What kid?
Oh, good.
I only got my key.
Okay, wait for it to stop spinning. There we go. I already got yours. Hey, Ben.
No, that's my
How are
key.
ya?
It's never your key, it's always my key.
It's Karley.
I have a key on it.
Yeah. Right, great sign, guys.
So, where do you want to bring it, Richard? Where do you want to bring it? You want to stand behind this picture? You're all my. I'm not going to be able to hold it. I'm speaking. Sure. Want to get that? Yeah.
Do you guys see David back there anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he should be along shortly.
Okay.
They really no harm. Families are suffering economically. It's huge. And you know who's suffered even more in the world from this inexcusable abuse of power is single-parent families.
Yes.
Single-parent families, one in particular that I know of, Nikki. She is ready to unite all of us in the campaign to resume normal life. Welcome, Nikki Horton. Can everyone hear me? Hi, perfect. Hi everyone, my name is Nikki. I am so glad to see everybody who took the time to be here with us today. This past year has
watershed moments many of us have ever experienced in our lifetimes to date. I don't believe that any of us truly understood back in February of 2020 that our lives were about to change forever. What began as a virus quickly turned into something so much more. It was as if the earth stood still and every man, woman, and child held their breath in the hopes of keeping whatever unseen danger they felt lurking in the shadows at bay. And at first, we stayed in that place. The whole country and the world came together as one united force. Brothers in arms who had cast aside all differences to fight a common enemy. There was no hierarchy, no one was separate. There was no class, race, age, gender that was not equal. We were all just people, and we were in this together. That was at first, and that was short-lived. It did not take very long for people to start asking questions. And when those questions, which were valid and needed to be asked, were met with silence and then contempt and ridicule, but never answers, that was when everything began to change. We started to notice that valuable information was being swept under the rug, buried and discredited. Expert opinions were subdued, while the opinions of those like Bill Gates were held to gospel standards. Then came the blame game. Those who hold titles and seats of authority in government made the virus political. It was the fault of the opposing party that this was happening. Even though this pandemic was global and happening in parts of the world where parties don't even exist. It was the fault of the inconsiderate youth who, in their selfish disregard for others, had followed through on their spring break plans. It was the fault of your neighbors who dared to go out in their own backyards for fresh air and to let their children expend their pent-up energy in the sunshine.
Unbelievable!
It was everyone and everything who presumed to want to understand exactly what was happening. Fast forward to the end of 2020. After months of living through and experiencing everything that came along with the COVID-19 pandemic, we found ourselves living in some sort of alternate reality. People, places, and things that had once been staples in our lives had disappeared. Families, relationships, businesses, dreams, countless numbers of us found them to be destroyed. Or, if we were lucky, they were still hanging on by a thread. We found ourselves tired, angry, confused, and a lot of us were being persecuted. But this is not the most important part of our collective story. Despite how it may have sounded up until now, this story is not one of pain or defeat. This is a story of triumph. This is a story of strength and resilience.
That is
true! In life, there are two options. When you are faced with trauma, loss, and adversity, you can choose to be a victim or you can choose to be a survivor.
That is true!
I believe everybody here today has chosen the latter.
Yes!
We have all lost something or someone, but we have also gained something fundamental that has been missing prior to all of this. And that is an appreciation for true human connection, community, and the importance of standing in our own personal truth and power. We are no longer willing to trade our values, morals, or beliefs for the comfort of general acceptance.
That is true.
We are no longer willing to stand by idly, waiting on the promise that someone somewhere has the answers and that they are coming to save us from the messes that they helped create.
Exactly. That is true. Exactly.
We understand now that this has been and always will be about we the people.
Exactly.
And it is up to us to ensure that we get it. It is clear now why the initial impression of unity we perceived back in March 2020 was an illusion. Why it didn't last. The whole world was brought together on the basis of fear. Fear is a strong motivator, but it is also a paralyzing agent. We came together in fear, and while many of us regained our ability to think and function, there are still many who are stuck in that place, frozen.
That's true.
What we are here today to do is to revive that sense of unity we have lost.
Yes.
But we are going to do it the right way this time.
Yes.
We come together today, not in fear, but in the name of love. Love for freedom, for truth, for country, for the planet as a whole, but most importantly, and above all else, love for ourselves and for one another.
Woo! So true.
Thank you for coming out today.
Thank you.
For putting action behind words and for being the living examples of resilience, strength, and unity. Today, I celebrate all of you and what has been gained in the midst of what many would call a tragedy. No one can say for sure where we will go from here, but wherever the road may lead, we travel forth together.
That is true.
Wow, you guys. If you don't want to like get your butt in gear now, I don't know what's going to help you. All right, I have a question. You ready to have an answer for me?
Yes.
Yes. How are you guys enjoying the way Janet Mills is governing the state of Maine? How are you enjoying that? That's what I thought you'd say. Are you ready for a real change in Maine? Yes. Woo! Let me hear you say that again. Are you ready for a real change? All right, I want you to listen closely to this next man. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a Mainer. He's a business owner and a military veteran. This guy is so down to earth, and he has got some amazing ideas about Maine's future. Please help me welcome Governor candidate Shelley Rudnicki.
Thank you so much. Hey, I just want to ask everybody, has everybody seen Janet Mills? Janet Mills? Is Janet Mills out there? How about Paula Page? Someone asked him. Can someone ask Paul how the weather in Florida is right now?
Shelley's here.
Hi. Now, I probably make some of you mad because, I will be running up against Paula Page. But I want to tell you, I want to just share my message with you today because I'm fed up and I see a bunch of people out there who are fed up. You guys are the tip of the spear for this movement. Anybody who's pissed off, anybody who's a patriot is right here, right now. So look around you. Look around you. This is the movement. All right? And there might be other people out there not brave enough to come out without a mask on or to show their face because the current culture in our society goes against people who tell the truth and tell it like it is and are honest people.
Tell them like it is, Shane!
So anyways, let me just get to this because there's a lot here to be honest. Anyways, I wrote this because when I don't write out my thoughts, I sound like a rambling madman.
Closer to your mouth.
My name is Shane Drake. I'm running for governor in 2022 as an independent. First, I want to thank the event sponsors who worked hard to put this together. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to all these people. And I want to thank all the Mainers out there. I'm incredibly thankful that you came here because it means that you are in the fight and that you're paying attention to what's happening around us. And that you feel the need to do something based on your principles. That's how I've been feeling for the last decade or so. As I began my political journey from the far left to the far right, and now I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm a husband, I'm a father, a veteran, and a business owner. I pay my taxes just like everybody here. At least I hope. I'm joking. Taxes are theft. Just want to let you guys know that. And I'm raising my kids to try to be a productive member of society. I'm doing my best, but that's the right and responsibility of every parent out there. It's not the government's place to tell you how to raise your kid. We've seen the results of government.
That's true.
Yeah, so how do we want our youth to be raised by the government, by the schools? I don't want that. All I want is a government that puts the people, before politics.
The people!
Last November was the final wake-up call for me. Probably for a lot of you too, as you witnessed what happened during the election.
That's right.
Right?
That's true.
I witnessed with my own eyes the media and far-left Democrats manufacture narratives and tell me that my own eyes were wrong, that they were lying to me.
Narcissist!
That I didn't see videos of voter fraud. That I didn't see poll workers filling out ballots or stuffing boxes. That the court cases were all heard. We all know that they weren't heard on merit. They were heard on standing. Regardless, I saw what happened during the election and I realized that the game is up. Our losing streak began in 2018, folks. During that election cycle, we lost. And we're continuing to lose. If we don't get our shit together, it's going to continue for the next 6 months or so. Sorry, pardon my French for all the kids out there. I'll do better. But that's where I come in. I'm running for governor. Because the only thing I want is to put Maine first. If we put Maine first, that puts you first. So me and you can finally be put ahead of those people who think they know best for what's for us.
The almighty book.
Woo! I'm talking about policies and agendas that are based strictly on the Constitution.
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Based strictly on the Bill of Rights.
Yes.
Exactly right.
A limited government.
Yes.
I know there's a lot of people out there, a lot of Republicans don't like the sound of that. But I'm telling you folks, tyranny starts when the government gets bigger than the people.
That's right. That's true.
So at the same time, there's this massive division growing among Democrats and Republicans. The two-party system is broken. But what's happening is deeper than that. It's a cultural problem. We don't see eye to eye anymore.
No.
I don't know if there's any Democrats out there, but I want to talk to you. I want to have discourse. We need to unite. We need to come together. That doesn't mean compromising. It means we can agree to disagree. The only thing that matters is that we're Mainers, that we live under the Constitution, the state flag, the nation flag. That's what unites us. I just don't see how any politician could put Maine first if it's divided into two halves. Okay? How are we going to put Maine first if you've got Democrats on one side and Republicans on the other? This constant back and forth power struggle is giving us whiplash. We need to reach across the table and find common ground.
Yes.
Which doesn't mean compromising our values or traditions, but it means preserving our communities. That's what our forefathers believed in. That's what the founding fathers wanted. A free people joined together in communities. It's time to stand up on principle and take on this corrupt system. Populists like you and me standing up to take back the reins of control.
Yes.
It won't matter who's running the government when it can't control you. The purpose of government is to maintain rights with as minimal impact or burden to us as possible. We all know that's not what's happening though. Our government is fat on our tax dollars. Oh boy, they like that money. And they want to keep getting it. So while we struggle, they send billions on pallets to Iran. These a-holes will send money to our enemies before even just giving it back to us. All this extra money to $25 million for gender study programs in Pakistan, but we can't get a dime of it? What the heck? And it's our reps. I can't count how many people who do not understand how the government is funded. Let me spell it out. I know you know, but for anybody watching or listening that doesn't, the government doesn't make a cent. The government is funded by us. Everything they do, everything that they spend comes from your wallet. Our businesses, our industries. So they keep sending our taxes to everyone but us. And how do they do it? Well, our state reps, the people we send to Congress or the Senate, and our lovely governor, they vote or put forward bills that they haven't even read. They don't even read them. They get them, and 20 minutes later they vote on them. 5,000 pages, don't need to read it. Whatever. It's just taxpayers' money. They push forward agendas made by lobbyists and foreign corporations and abuse emergency powers. Let's not act like there wasn't games and favors played by the Republican leadership in the past, okay? I've lived in the state, I've seen it. Look at Susan Collins if you want a litmus test for the GOP right now. Does Susan Collins represent any of you? No. Does Janet Mills? No. That's what I thought. It needs to be said, the Republican state reps who voted to give Mills emergency powers, vote them out. They can apologize all they want, I'm sorry. They say they had to do it, etc. But to me, it wasn't about anything other than passing the buck. Nobody wants to be held accountable. It's easy for our state reps and our legislators to just pass the buck and say, oh, I don't want to be held accountable if this goes to crap. I'll just Janet Mills, one person. She's untouchable, so it doesn't matter.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there's no principle there. There's no principle. We have an accountability problem in government. It's time to fix that, and it begins with the passion of patriots like you. I can't be the only one fed up here. I know I'm not. I'm a regular Mainer.
You're not the only one.
I'm ready to take these people on, are you?
Yeah!
So with the people here, if you took a few more steps, if you guys just took a few more steps, you could be right here where I am. I know that's confrontational, but my God, we need the help. We need honest, principled patriots to start standing up.
That is true.
I mean, I'm just an average guy. I'm just a business owner, a father. I've been overseas. I come back home and it's falling apart. When I'm in my community, where my business and family reside, I see masked faces, and these masks hide the deep-rooted depression and feelings of one group of people, and it masks and hides the anger and frustration of the other.
That is true. Wow.
That's not what United Maine looks like.
That is not.
That's not what United Maine looks like. I love science. I love logic and reason. I know the left loves science more than me, right? So someone sit me down and give it to me straight. That's why I'm here. I haven't talked to a single person who's passionate or fearful about COVID that can give me the scientific justification for the masks or lockdowns. Is there anybody there? Anybody? Maybe Janet Mills can come give us the new justifications.
Crickets!
People have the right to be scared and to take preventative measures for themselves.
Yes!
I mean, I don't care if people want to wear extra sunblock because pale people are dying of heat stroke, okay? But you can't force me and my family to participate in your delusions without justifications.
Nice analogy, yeah.
You know, data, scrutinized, critical research, and a lot of it. Where is it?
Where?
The CDC released false inflated data that it got from the Gates Foundation funded studies showing that there would be massive casualties with COVID. That our cowardly state reps handed over the keys to the castle to Janet Mills because they were too scared to make hard decisions, in my opinion, and then be held accountable. A full year later, and although the data proved incredibly inaccurate and likely manufactured, in my opinion, the emergency powers still stand. Why? Well, they say for federal bailout money. That's an exciting topic for another day. You know what that means? Higher taxes for my kids and my grandkids.
Slavery to China!
Yup.
Yes, ma'am!
You know what to say. I'm running because I envision a Maine where problems in society are dealt with by the communities that contain them. Not delegated to the lowest bidder or government agency. That's the real compassion of the left. Just let the government handle it. Can anyone name something the government does better than the private sector? Other than war and take our taxes? Anybody? Yeah, theft. Are we really so impassionate?
Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. I think it's dead.
You got my vote, Shay!
Whatever.
You got my
vote! I got a lot to say, so we're gonna get it out there. For too long, we have ignored the attacks
on our national traditions, attacks on our freedoms and liberties.
Happy holidays!
They're being eroded away by people who seek to radically change and alter the culture, the traditions here in America. Libertarians and conservatives must join together to take on these radical approaches to government and society from both parties.
Amen, totally.
We must...
Shane Drake for governor.
Hey, I'll take this, brother. Listen to this. We are currently between crazy on one side and crazy on the other, in my opinion. Of course, conservatives align with the traditions and culture of our forefathers more so than those on the left. I myself am a fairly conservative person. Some would say far right. I'm going to say I'm in the middle. But I value individual liberty and a limited government more than I fear death or risks.
Yes!
A government for the people and by the people. It seems that the Republican Party of today is simply focused on obtaining a different set of favors from Uncle Sam than what the Democrats want. That's enough for the Republicans, I think. Our founding fathers were brilliant to limit the scope of government. They weren't Democrats. They weren't Republicans. They were patriots. They stood on the arm and in the face of certain death if they failed. We too must stand in the arm, and if that means getting canceled or targeted, this is our country to take back. We are losing our culture, and the more we trust the plan, the less days we have to find and elect real Mainers to fix this. That's why I'm running for governor, because I see the fire in your eyes. I have seen the fight in the eyes of many others. We are here now. We need leaders here now. Our founding fathers relied on men and women willing to fight, and thank goodness they did. They went up against the tyranny of the king. Yet it was men who saw fighting as a last resort who brought the Constitution forward. Are our problems as Mainers so insignificant that our state leadership must adopt and focus on national level problems in our communities? Where's the big pollution problem here? Where's the racial inequality? Where's the border problem? Where's the COVID deaths to justify the mandates? We have veterans freezing in the streets. My childhood friends are either dead, strung out, or in prison, and that's the truth. But we must lead the way for energy, pollution, migration, refugees, and the myriad of other far-left initiatives. What about my friends? What about my business or my kids' future?
What about freedom?
The state needs more of you standing where I am. I encourage everyone here to help me take on the tyrants in that building. Join me in my campaign and start a political revolution. Maine will lead the way. I can feel it. I can feel it. This is a state that will lead the fight for our freedoms nationwide. Supporting me in my campaign means a return to tradition, community, and most importantly, the Constitution. Thanks everyone who came and listened. Thank you so much.
Awesome!
I told you it was
Okay.
I told you I had a lot to say.
You know, how can we reach you, Shane Drake? How can they reach you to support you?
Right now, you can go to my Facebook page. It's Shane Drake for Maine Governor in 2022.
Shane Drake on Facebook. You can reach out to him to find out how you can support him, because I think this man has a lot to say.
I do.
And you know what? He speaks to us. He uses our vernacular. He doesn't try to go above our heads. He wants you to understand what he's talking about. He's not trying to have some subversive reason for why he's running. He wants us to have our freedoms back. So thank you so much, Shane. I look forward to seeing him at many more rallies. Now, oh my gosh, you guys are going to love this. This is amazing. I am so excited because this is probably something you've never heard before in your entire life. We have such a large legislature in Maine, yet few of these lawmakers really set out to serve the people. Would you be surprised to know that a used car ownership dealer is right here in our midst? This owner is a hidden gem, and she is striving to support the people
our Maine State Legislator from House number 108, Shelley Rudnicki!
All right! Preach it!
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, is that better? You would think that I could talk loud. I come from a large family, so, we have to talk loud to be heard. Sometimes that even gets me into trouble over in that building over there because they're telling me to tone it down a little bit. I don't necessarily listen to them. But, so let me tell you a little bit about myself first. I am a used car dealer. That is my trade. I've been doing it for 30 years. But I will tell you, I've been serving my community for almost as long, in one manner or another. I started out on the planning board, the school board, before I ran for the legislature. And that's one thing that we need, is we need people that want to serve in the community to start with. In the small, we've got too many lifetime legislators up here. They've been here too long. It's time to make a difference. Yeah, we have term limits, but the problem with that is they'll term out in the House and then you put them in the Senate. And then they term out in the Senate and you put them back in the House. So we've got people that have been here for a long, long time. And that we are a citizens legislature. We're not a full-time legislature. And that's what people have to understand. We are a part-time, but we need to take care of our constituents. I started, when I ran 3 years ago originally, to me it's always been about the people. And I started doing these Facebook Lives because I had a constituent say to me, why aren't you knocking on the governor's door every day and asking to go back? I said, good question. And so I did. I started knocking on the speaker's door, and I started knocking on the governor's door. And you know what I heard? Nothing. Okay? I have left Post-it notes on their doors with my name and phone number. I have contacted 34 days straight. I knocked on that door last summer. But you know what? I continue to live my life, and that's what I would encourage all of you to do. Now, I bet many of you, like me, have been called super spreaders. Yeah. Okay? I've been called that I can't tell you how many times. I've been told that I was going to kill my mother-in-law. Okay? By my sister-in-law because I went to rallies, because I didn't shut down, because I traveled across the country last year.
I'm glad you did.
And that's something that I'm not going to give up. Okay? That is not in me to give up and just walk away and do what they tell me to do. Okay? You can ask my husband. You don't tell me what to do, I'm going to do the opposite. So I just want to give you a couple of things and food for thought. We can make a difference. Okay? We did make a difference when the governor said she was going to charge all these businesses that were hurting and going out, that she was going to charge them taxes on their PPP loan. Well, guess what? Enough people stood up. Enough people called, emailed, both her and the Democrats. And guess what? We made a difference. So the supplemental, they didn't get taxed on that. We also can make a difference by making those phone calls, sending those emails. But I will tell you, send it personally, and it doesn't have to be to just your own legislator. Send them to every legislator out there. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't just represent Fairfield, Mercer, and Smithfield. I represent the state of Maine, okay, and the people in Maine. Because I don't just vote on bills that take place in my town. I vote on bills from the county to the coast. I vote on fishing industry. I'm in the center part of the state. What do I do about the fishing industry? So we as legislators work for all of you, and that's what you got to remind them. I don't care if they're from Portland or from Aroostook County, they work for all of us. And we need to remind them that that's what we're there to do. So the one thing, okay, we need to do is you need to make your voices heard to get us back in that building. Okay, there are many of us that are showing up for our committees, but I will tell you, Zoom sucks. Because we have some gun bills coming in front of my committee, and I will tell you that you can't make as much of a difference on Zoom as you can Zoom instead of standing in front of me and telling me your feelings. On Zoom, okay, it's easy to tune people out, and that's what they're doing. So you need to just reach out, email, call, every one of them. Now, testify on bills, folks. But here's a tip. When you testify on a bill, at the end of your testimony, make sure it's originally on the bill. But at the end of your testimony, remind them that they need to vote to get us back in session and to remove the governor's powers. Because that's the only way we're going to do it, is to get everybody. That vote last week went down party lines. Okay? We want to go back. We want to do the people's business.
I love it.
So that's pretty much what I'm going to say tonight, because you guys know that I can ramble if you've watched any of my Facebook Lives, and I can talk about everything. So thank you for showing up. You know, do your best, help out, make calls, anything you can do to get us back. These rallies, I love them. You know, bring them on.
Wow, thank you so much. And I'm so blown away. I didn't know her history. I didn't know everything about her, but I never met a used car salesperson that I trusted, but now I can't say that anymore. Okay. Our government created the Americans with Disabilities Act to specifically protect a class of people that had been overlooked in the general population. And where are those acts now in Maine? Where are they? The only state in the union that does not care about the disabled people and requires them to, against even doctors' orders, to wear a mask. Who is protecting these people? Well, Sam Hill, he's here to encourage us against this war on the disabled people. Let me bring to the stage right now, Sam Hill!
Hoping I can do this one-handed. Good afternoon and welcome everybody. What a wonderful day to have a rally to fight for freedom. And what a wonderful turnout we have today for the Constitution. My name's Sam Hill. I'm so proud to stand shoulder to shoulder today with each and every one of you in defense of our many freedoms, often overlooked in our very busy society. As dark forces have lined up against us, so shall we continue to fight together and remain steadfast to ensure a brighter future for our children. From this day forward, we shall all carry the burden of freedom on our shoulders. The very few shall defend the many. Our opponents will cower with fear, and we shall fear no more. We shall never kneel before a dictator, and we shall only stand for three things: our freedom, our family, and our God. We have an incredibly difficult task ahead of us, folks. I'm not going to lie. In defeating the enemies that have subverted our freedom, our government, our families, and our institutions. But make no mistake, so long as we continue to help each other, pool our talents, organize, strategize, so long as we coordinate with each other and never give up, we will win! And that is what Beacon for Sovereignty was created to do. So by now you should have all met Karley, our president.
Yeah, Karley!
Beacon is a grassroots. It began with a meeting in November of last year, about 30 Mainers, struggling with the concept of a dictator-in-chief. We organized,
We fielded suggestions. We held our votes. We elected officers. We formed a corporation. And now we are a force to be reckoned with. We have evolved from what was once grassroots freedom rallies in the 2020 election cycle to a serious ground campaign unparalleled by any democratic institution. The voice of the people shall be silent no more. Beacon has organized around the premise of supporting the Constitution and freedom. We are representing the people in town halls, in the state legislature through folks like Shelley, Heidi Sampson, many others, through our advocates, and by organizing constitutional activities that never should have been taken away in the first place.
That's true.
We are lucky, brothers and sisters, but many are not. Our mothers and fathers suffer from isolation. Our children don't see a promising future.
That is the truth.
Everyone has been silenced.
That is the truth.
Seniors and disabled fear for their lives.
That is the truth.
They hide in their homes waiting for a miracle cure that simply doesn't exist. I challenge you all to fight for the truth. Always stand by your beliefs. And continue to join us in our cause against the dark forces that have united against us. Do it for those that have no voice, the weak, the suffering, and the children. The time is now.
The time is now.
To help with our cause, please visit our website, www.bfs.care. All profits from the store sales and all donations will be used to support our constitutional efforts to free the Maine people. All proceeds currently benefit the Free Maine PAC. Please see their citizen initiative. Take a chance to sign it before you leave, and also the Maine Stands Up organization. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Sam. And that's B as in boy, F as in Frank, S as in Sam. Our next speaker doesn't just talk about keeping Maine people safe. There's action involved. Even though you may not see the action with your own eyes, it's going on beneath the surface. She organizes and acts with the Maine legislative watchdogs, Mothers Against Mass Shutdowns, and participates with the Swinging Gate. She's filed more FOIAs, Freedom of Information Access, than I could probably even count.
I love it.
And this is all on your behalf. She's doing that. You didn't know that. But she's creating this for you. Welcome to the stage, Gina LeDuc.
Hi, you guys hear me okay?
Oh, okay, close to my mouth. Okay. Okay, so my name is Gina LeDuc, and as Jennifer so sweetly said, and kindly said, I'm the organizer of the Maine Legislative Watchdogs. I just created that group about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago maybe. And I started in this fight along with all of you who noticed after our state wasn't unlocked after the 2-week shutdown that something was very, very wrong. And watching my children and their friends and hearing stories across the nation, I started Moms Against Mass Shutdowns. Because as we all know, our children have been so severely impacted, and their education has been impacted, and they believe that their future is hopeless. Every day I hear from my children, there's not much to look forward to. What are we living for? And I tell them every day that I'm fighting for them and fighting so they have a life and a future. And as I was in this fight, I noticed that many of us, including myself a little bit, didn't know how to access our government. And there was a real need and a real hole in our own education we could probably
all thank the public school education system for this whole. Do not know how to find bills, track bills, testify on bills, write in on bills, and we don't even seem to understand or know that it is our right to do so. Many of us don't know that this is our right and that the legislators work for us. It is our God-given right to stand up for ourselves and to be governed the way we decide to be governed. So, I started this, and I invite all of you to find us on Facebook, and I invite every single one of you to reach out if you don't know how to find a bill, and we'll teach you. If you need need help on editing or writing, I'm happy to read what you're writing. Don't let anything stop you from raising your voices. Don't let it stop you. And I'll draw on some very great wisdom that's already been spoken before me by Karley and Ron Jenkins and Ryan, the fisherman, that we're all in this together. Every one of us counts. It's going to take all of us. And don't let fear stop you. Fear is just a liar. Fear is a liar. And no matter what fear is whispering in your ear, fear will always whisper in your ear. Fear will tell you that you're stupid. Fear will tell you that the Democrats have won. Fear will tell you that this is too big for all of us. Do not listen to that fear. Just keep going. Keep your eye on the prize. We're going to open the state, and we're going to be free Americans again.
I needed to hear that. I don't know about you, but that's definitely something I needed to hear.
I needed it.
The people united will not be divided.
The people united will not be divided. I love it. Thank you. All right. Who is responsible for your health? Answer that question. Oh, you? Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Okay, well, that's right. Each one of us has something called bodily autonomy in the United States of America, right? And our next speaker is working towards protecting your rights to choose how you medically treat your body or choose not to treat your body. The organization Health Choice of Maine is fighting to educate and overturn the draconian measures of mandated vaccines without exemption. Please listen very carefully to our next speaker, Tiffany.
Hello. In 1986, the pharmaceutical lobby lobbied Congress to pass a bill that touches us even today. That is the 1986 Liability Removal Act. What this bill did was make it so that any vaccine manufacturer for any vaccine produced has no liability for safety. Instead, they set up the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. And contrary to Dr. Shaw's statement, this is not an automatic payout. People in the VICP will wait years, 10 to 15 years, for a determination. They will litigate against the Department of Justice with all the government resources in the world, and the burden of proof lies solely on the victim. As part of this, they gave us VAERS, the Vaccine Event Reporting Program. And what this does, this is the only post-market capturing system in the United States for any side effect, adverse reaction, injury, or death.
Ridiculous!
In the early 2000s, the CDC paid over $1 million to a third-party company. That company was Harvard Pilgrim. They did a full audit of VAERS to decide how accurate this capturing system reported back that only 1% of injury and death is ever even reported. Did you know that this is the same post-market capturing system that is capturing the side effects and injuries for the COVID vaccine? Inexcusable! Fast forward to today, and what we have is the largest request for blind trust the government could ever ask of the people. They are asking us to trust a fast-tracked experimental product with no liability using a post-market capturing system that is already proven to be broken. Unconscionable! This is a serious choice that each of us is going to be faced with. At Health Choice Maine, our job is to make sure it's your choice. Your choice! Our choice! Your body, your choice! Yes. Your government, your employer, and your school has no right in your doctor's office. No business! Each individual must take into account their own risk-benefit assessment and decide what choice is best for them. And the same choice that you would make may not be the best choice for my family, but I support your right to make it. Beautiful. Beautiful thing. The COVID vaccine not only contains experimental technology such as mRNA, which is heavily debated for safety right now. It is also not covered under the 86 Liability Act. The COVID-19 vaccine will be covered under the PrEP Act, the Public Readiness and Preparedness Act. And under the PrEP Act, they will be allowed to dictate what side effects you can even claim compensation for. In the court, they will take 10 to 15 years to get a determination, where you'll be fighting against the Department of Justice and all of their resources. In addition to this, it gives you limited time to file. So if there are long-term side effects that you start to experience in 5 years, there's not going to be any commercials saying, if you took the COVID vaccine, you may qualify for compensation. Please call blah, blah, blah. That won't happen. You are on your own. Even with how broken the VAERS system is, right now, just a few months into COVID rollouts, the COVID vaccine accounts for more injury and death than every other vaccine on the schedule combined. And keep in mind, that's 1%. Now, as the discussion rises across the nation, discussing vaccine hesitancy, the new buzzword. Permissible measures to require and mandate this vaccine are already starting to be debated, and Maine is in a worse situation than most because we have already lost our right to choose. How far are we willing to let this go? No further! How much are we willing to enforce the will of our state onto our neighbors? Who has more authority over your body and the health of your children, you or the state? We have already crossed so many lines in allowing the state to decide what health is, what risks we are allowed to take, and who is important enough to allow them to take those risks. We've also let them decide who should simply not be in society at all. And we have done so in the past 12 months as we have segregated entire populations of people with disabilities, with special abilities, neurodivergent children and adults, simply for having a condition where they cannot wear a mask. Neurodivergent and disabled children and adults all across the state have been denied medical care, their services, education, and access to everyday society simply because they're neurodivergent and different. When did we become that country? When did we become those people that segregate based on health alone? I don't stand here today to convince you not to take this vaccine. Only you can make that choice. And I will support whatever choice you make. I'm here today to make sure that each of you have the right to make that choice yourself.
You nailed it! You nailed it!
Health Choice Maine has a vast plethora of resources at the state level and federal. We are networking with the best lawyers in the state and the country. We have multiple lawsuits that we will be announcing this summer. Even this week, schools are already sending nasty letters and phone calls to parents demanding a decision now. 6 months before the law even takes effect, they want a decision now, pushing parents to unenroll their children for next year. You can reach us at healthchoicemaine.org, info@healthchoicemaine.org. If you need help, if you need someone to advocate with you, to a school, to a doctor, we're here. If you have questions, you need resources, we are here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's pretty powerful when you think about it. They can tell you what to put in your body and not to put in your body. That is definitely the antithesis of freedom. Do you feel that the people have been heard over the last year? Well, I can tell you what, neither does Maine Freedom PAC. And Heather Ann Sprague is here to talk to you about how we can revive our voices. Bring it, girl. Hello, Maine. Can you hear me? Yes. I'm Heather Sprague, and I am here with the Free Maine PAC. And we have a petition. We have a petition to strip Janet Mills of some of her powers, and to force the legislature to vote every 30 days if there's ever another emergency that we have to go through. And this is in case this ever happens again. We don't want this to happen ever again. Ever. We need 63,000. We need 63,000 signatures. We need volunteers, and we need donations as it's new, and we need money to print off these petitions and, get people out. We're going to be doing a door-to-door campaign soon. Our deadline is 2022, but, and I know that seems like a long time, but at least it gets something in there that gives us a little more protection than what we have now from the tyrant across the street.
And it gives us an excuse to go up to people's doors.
Exactly. It gives us an excuse to educate people on the truth and what they really need to know instead of what the TV tells them to believe. Too much of that is happening around Maine. The cancel culture and all of it has got to stop. We need to come together. People need to get involved with your school boards, with PACs like mine. You can go to freemainpac.com and join up there. There's plenty of groups speaking for sovereignty. I have Maine for Trump, Stand Up Maine. There's tons of them. You just got to look. Just get involved and help save our freedoms. This isn't good, people. This isn't good at all, and they think they can get away with it, but we need to let them know that they are not going to take our freedoms now or ever. Ever. So please sign my petition and join at freemainpac.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
and balances, baby. Hey, you forgot your notebook. Checks and balances, that's what it's all about, right? Our final speaker today wants to restore the power to the people. To the people. I don't think we hear that enough. I think we hear Maine citizens. I think we hear constituents. But you know what we really are? Is we're the people. And according to the Constitution, the people have the power. Okay? So join me in welcoming Gerry Thibodeau.
Power to the people. I want to ask you, what's the first 3 words of our Constitution? We the people. And that's who our government's supposed to be working for, is we the people. Our founding fathers knew this was going to happen to us. So they put Article 5 into the Constitution for us to use. I have petitions here for everybody to sign, or you can go online. I also have a group called We the People too. I have 1,300 something members in that group, and we're growing every day. And they all went to sign the Convention of States. We need to take the power away from the government, and this is the only way we can do it, is to use Article 5. That's what it was given to us for. We need to stand up and we need to use it. Power to the people! Power to the people! Yeah.
All right, we've heard from some amazing people today. And now you're probably going, since you're still here, every one of you that's still here, I know what you're waiting for. How can I help? Gosh darn it. How can I put these thoughts and feelings that I have, and I'm so inspired, how can I put them into action, right? Yeah, that's the question. So now we're going to bring up some of these wonderful supporting groups, and they're going to explain how you can get in touch so that you can be a part of the action that brings back to the people the power that we innately have. Our upcoming events are... Okay, this is Will.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to let you know that on April 3rd, BFS is going to be holding, Beacon for Sovereignty is going to be holding a Easter egg hunt. We plan on having a few other things there, games and stuff. It's going to be on April 3rd. If you're interested in attending, you can find information on bfs.care. Yeah, pretty much. I hope to see you all there. Bring your kids. And that's it for right now.
Okay, we've got another event coming up. Hi everyone again. Hi everybody. So next weekend, Maine Legislative Watchdogs, along with the Swinging Gate, which was created by Dick Campbell and many wonderful conservative activists, are hosting Freedom Works, which is a national organization that is coming in and doing some trainings. And also they're bringing a great speaker in, C.L. Bryant, who is a wonderful Christian Baptist minister and a motivational speaker. So he'll be there on Saturday night up in Bangor at Jeff's Catering. And Friday, we'll be doing a meetup on Friday evening at the Grindhouse. I believe it's called the Grindhouse. All right, thank you. All right, you guys, I hope you're taking note. And if you're not able to remember all of these dates, you can go online and go to Beacon for Sovereignty, go to beaconforsovereignty.care, BFS.care. Okay, here's another coming event.
Next Saturday, 27th, at the American Disability. We're going to fight for the people that can't wear masks, and these guys are trying to, they're trying to wash their hands of it, and they're not helping out. All right, everybody, so just to remind you guys again, we are going to plan something really big for the 4th of July weekend. I tried to hand everybody a business card that I could. If you couldn't get a business card, add me on Facebook. My name is Corn Pop on Facebook to keep updated. Or if you don't have Facebook like we should, you can email the group itself at patriotswithattitude1776@gmail.com, and we'll keep you guys all updated, all right?
There's another event. There's 10 more slots for this training to become an activist that is being offered by the National Foundation for Applied Conservative Leadership. And they do some really dynamite training. They teach ordinary citizens like us how to be heard, how to be like, Shelley, how to just really take your power and speak truth to power. And they have 10 slots left. It's on the 27th. Go to the Foundation for Applied Conservative Leadership, or it's also on the BFS.org site.
Thank you.
Okay, so now a word from our sponsors.
All right, hello. My name is Pavel Sergeyevich the Kukin. Somebody call me Russian Paul. Most of you don't know me. I'm originally from Russia, and I came to the United States for freedoms, which we are slowly losing. We're losing our freedom slowly. I'm sorry about that. Not hearing everything. But anyways, this event was organized by a lot of organizations. With the People, Health Choice Maine, Maine Freedom Pack, BFS, which stands for Beacon for Sovereignty, WPA, BWA, Patriots with Attitude, Maine Legislative Watchdogs, Convention of States, and of course, all of you who is here fighting for the freedoms, trying to restore that we were born with. You were born with those freedoms, and unfortunately, we have to get them back. It sucks. You have to fight for it, but here we are. And if you want to get involved in the fight, we got the people here. We got the package. We got the chief somewhere outside here. I am a recruiter for Beacon for Sovereignty. So if you want to get involved in this, and you need to get involved, because I'm telling you, if you don't get involved, then it's just gonna fade away. Your freedom's gonna fade away. And I've been around the world. I lived in Russia during communism, and it sucked. You're not gonna like it. It was horrible. That's why I moved here, so I can get some freaking freedom. Okay? So you have to get involved. You cannot sit at the house. You cannot post on Facebook and think that it's gonna change something. You have to get out there like you did right now. And I'm glad you're here, but let's take it. Let's continue the fight. Talk to me if you want to get recruited. Talk to Nick or the PWA. We got all kind of things. This is like a McDonald's for freedoms. So you got choices. You can have a royal freedoms. You can have a double freedoms. No pickles, add onions. It's all right here. Talk to me. Talk to Nick. Talk to the people. All right, I'm the last guy. I don't want to hold you any longer. Everybody got to get home and, have the barbecue at home or whatever.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. And you guys are the reason that we're doing this. So remember that as you're going home today. Take some time to think about how you can take what you have done and energize yourself with all of these wonderful patriots. And how can you support this fight for your freedom? Thank you. Give that a lovely audience.
Oh, thank you. I have no idea.
then I was like, you still want me to do it? So, I mean, I was coming out almost daily.
Can I get a hug? Oh, man, I love you. You have such a lovely spirit. Come meet my friend Tamara Clark.
Hi, Tamara.
And this is Rob. Come over here, Rob.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I didn't ask you to sign up. Just say hello.
Oh, my song is on.
I turned it up.
Turn it up.
Everything in my ass.
I'm gonna find this guy every year.
Tens of thousands on my right, thousands by my side. Between good and evil, watching our fists collide. Battle for our freedom now, to the streets we ride. Flags waving all around, pages full of pride. This is where we make a stand, no one give or take. March around the Capitol, storm the city gates. Putting pressure on their necks until the truth breaks. All walls of corruption, take out all the snakes. Star Spangled Banner, got it playing loud and proud. People from all walks of life, filling up the crowd. Defending the Constitution, many warriors of vow. Casting down even your mothers who rap on the count. Enough for tyranny, we come and take our country back. For all citizens, white, red, brown, or black. Return us to a form of glory, fix the bloody crack on the ground. Catch it down, it's going down. My mama told me, yeah, she told me that this day would come. I'm like my father, go to combat with the blazing guns. I survived and then I came back to the place. I'm from the face off all these haters and the battle in the place I love. You can't break me down, I'm indivisible. You still see my raps if I was invisible. But I'm standing tall and I spit the truth. So you all appalled, cause you know it's true. They call it freedom cause the fallen troops pay for this. I love this country, doesn't matter how much hate I get. I take my colors in the battle, ain't no wavering. Cause this is for my warriors who marching to the cadences. This is for the sisters working hard on the ships. This is for the brothers getting y'all Dr. Red Father. Yeah, taking y'all on the ship. Baby, tell me why it's off of these picture
Oh no, oh, okay, yes, I've seen him at